Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Working Trader, where we look at the Euro USD and GBPUSD and come up with trade ideas for the day if there are any. So let's jump right into it. Let's look at Forex Factory. Today is Thursday. We only have unemployment claims on the USD, and that's at 12:30 UK time. So let's look at the charts. Let's see what we can expect, what we can look out for today. All right, and then look at what we were expecting yesterday as well. So obviously price is still reacting to this supply zone, okay, supply area on the daily, which weight was mitigated, and we've been tapping into it and then pushing away, tapping into it, pushing away, and then yesterday finally we had a decent push away with the bearish candle close. Okay, so that's showing clear intentions. And then what we have as well is we're looking at the on the pound. This is what we have, where we have been coming down, of course, and then we are reacting off from this demand, and then we're still respecting this area of supply at the top, and price has been reacting to it as well. So on the pound, we've simply been creating inside bar candles, so no clear conviction as yet. Okay, so let's look at the Euro USD, and let's look at the 4-hour. So looking at the 4-hour chart, this is the current range that we're in. So that's our current range, boom boom, and then internal to that range we've been bullish. Okay, we did break structure, we broke structure, but immediately came back down into the range. Now we've swept these lows, we're not really convincingly pushing all the way down, and then we do have this area of demand. So price has been ranging between these two areas, the supply and this demand. So price was stuck in the middle. So yeah, trading in the middle is a bit tricky. Okay. So yesterday, if we look at the 15-minute, price wasn't playing real nice yesterday. So let me just mark out my swing ranges. Alright, so 15-minute 15-minute swing range is still here. Okay. Okay, so this is a 15-minute swing range. Right. There's a 15-minute swing range, which is bearish. And then the internal range is bullish. So this was the last break of structure, and then this was the leg up, and then this is the low, and then this is the high of that leg. Okay, on the 15-minute. So externally, so from a swing perspective on the 15-minute, we are bearish, and then from an internal perspective on the 15-minute, we are bullish. Okay, so so if we're looking to sell, we are pro swing, counter internal, and if we're looking to buy, we are pro internal, counter swing. So this was the decisional. No, this is the decisional. It's still holding. Okay, so yesterday we said it had been there was a deeper mitigation, so I reduced it to this point, and then eventually late outside key time window, that's when it was mitigated, right at 4 o'clock. or just still during key time window anyway. It was mitigated, and then we've had a slight reaction, but price was pretty much, the order flow has been very bearish. Okay, so looking at yesterday, I was expecting price to at least come up, maybe mitigate these areas at the top in order to look for shorts, or to at least come down, sweep these areas first, and then to look for longs. Okay, maybe towards here, or even targeting these relative equal highs. But as we can see, price just didn't do any of that. So after mitigating this area, so of course on the pound we had a sweep of this low, so there was a divergence. Okay, so on the pound we had a sweep of this low, and then on the Euro USD we respected that low, and then just reacted from the top, and then went on to Asia mid-range, and then from there created this trend line of liquidity. All right, 1 2 3 touches, and that was liquidity to be targeted, as well as this low, which I was anticipating. And then so from there, that would have been a trade if you were looking at Asia mid-range. Okay, after it mitigated this imbalance. Okay, so obviously I didn't catch it because my focus was mainly on taking out these highs or taking out these lows, and then looking for a reaction. So even after it did that, it had a reaction, but it didn't give enough confirmation and movement to go bullish. Okay, so these were not good trades on the lower time frames. Okay, so eventually price just collapsed, and then we went on to hit this supply this demand at the bottom. Okay, so within the overall swing range, we are still, may have just mitigated the, okay, we've just gone below equilibrium and just mitigated into discount. Okay, into discount. However, it looks like, so right now what has happened is we're this low, which made this high, and then that's been broken now. Okay, and then currently this is the low that we have. Okay, this is the low that we have at the moment. So order flow is still kind of bearish. Okay, but looking at the details, let's look at the details. Let's see. So this can still be an area which can be swept. Alright, that's a structural low, which is also a session low. And then of course we do have this extreme. I do have that extreme. And we have this imbalance as well. So we have this imbalance right there. Okay, so price could continue to drop maybe towards this area if we're going to continue with the swing with the swing direction. Okay, which will be pro swing, counter internal. So we've mitigated the extreme. So price did push up, mitigated the extreme of the leg, of the swing leg. Okay, and then now we are kind of coming back down. So it could be that the pullback is over, it's finished, and then now we are targeting this internal low first before we target the week swing low right here. Okay, and then the flip side would be that if the bearish trend is about to switch bullish, then we might sweep this this low. Okay, maybe even come into this imbalance. All right, take something from there, and then start switching bullish until we take out these highs and eventually this swing high as well. Okay, so looking at the details and what to expect or what to look out for, maybe for today. Let's see if we can find anything. Okay, so this is what we have at the moment. So Asia low has already been swept. Okay, so Asia low has already been taken. Okay, so that's already been liquidated. And then we are reacting. Okay, we are reacting. So we could see price so from a fractal structure perspective, we do have this low, we do have this lower high. So we're coming from this push down with the lower high, lower low, lower high. We made a lower low right there, made a lower high, and then now we've made this overall lower low as well. Okay, so order flow is definitely bearish. Okay, so we could see price maybe come up. There's this fractal area. Okay, or we could come up to this extreme, and then we could look for lows, targeting that, and maybe this this structural low that we have. Okay, else price could just continue to melt. Okay, and then once we have that, then we could look for some reaction bullish, and then maybe target this area or Asia high. Okay, but most importantly, if we get our 321 at any point from this low before we get there, then that would be good. Okay, so that's what we're looking at the moment. That's what I'm seeing, and that's what I'm looking at. So okay, so that's it for the Euro USD. So let's look at the British pound, starting on the 4-hour. So 4-hour, this is the range that we're in. Boom, boom, boom. And we're still respecting the range. Internally, we've kind of shifted bullish. We simply had a sweep, no close. And then price is now slowly retracing, coming back. And then we have this area of demand where price could mitigate, and then we could see a reaction bullish. Okay. So 4-hour, this is what we're seeing. And then on the 15-minute, let me start with the swing. So on the swing, this is what we have, and I still have these areas of liquidity down here. Okay. So all of these are possible areas where price could come into. Okay, and then we do have the trend line right there. So swing is bearish. okay, on the 15-minute, and then internally we have been bullish, okay, and then at the top here we just had sweeps, okay, so we really haven't had a break of structure, convincing break of structure. And then after this last sweep, price has just been kind of pushing down. All right, so looking at the details, this is what we have. We had this last sweep, all right, and then price came down, pushed up. It's been making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, and then yesterday we broke to the upside, and then this has been the current range that price is in. So let's see. So that just kind of had a break of structure. Okay. So that makes this kind of a strong high right there. Okay. So this would be the range that we're in, albeit it's all internal to the internal. So it's a bit messy right now. All right. So these would be the conditions where if you want to just preserve your capital and not be chopped up, you might just decide to stay away, okay, until something clear happens. All right, so this is what we have. So price is trickling, coming down, coming down, coming down. We do have a range, we do have a level of imbalance, we do have liquidity to target down here. So at the top, okay, at the top we don't have anything to target really. But what's happening now is I can see we are starting to also create a level of trend line. Okay, so we are also building a level of trend line at the top. So now is liquidity traps everywhere. Okay, liquidity traps everywhere. So okay, so depending on which side is taken first, okay, so right now we are within this range, so we do have that liquidity trend line at the top. Alright, so let's just be so we are aware of it, okay, and then looking at the details, let's see, looking at the details, so we had the sweep, all right, so internal to that, we've been kind of bearish, we've swept that, okay, so we've been bearish, this has been a lower low, we did have a sweep, made this low, come up, made this low, lower low, lower low, and then finally we've kind of broken up, okay, to the upside, and then maybe this is respecting, okay, so this is, yeah, looking real dip. So we had a break, and then price came up, and then we've had another break, price made a lower low, we've had a break, okay, so you could look this as one break, okay, and then now we're at the top. So the way I like to have my breaks of structure is with a candle close. That's kind of shows me conviction. So we don't have candle closes, it's just been wicks, okay, and then only here, that's where we've had a true break, and down there, so we kind of have that trend line that's been taken, so we may be expecting price to continue coming down. So right now price is not really clear in terms of what it wants to do, okay, but what has happened is, okay, we could mark this out as some kind of liquidation that has taken place. Okay, now because we have this liquidation that happened during Asia, so expectation is that this area is going to serve as bait. Okay, it's going to serve as bait to be taken out. Okay, that area is going to serve as bait to be taken out. So right now we are seeing a reaction. However, I am expecting this to fail. Okay, and then maybe when it fails, and then we take out this low, which is also a session low. Okay, which is also a previous session low. So when that happens, or if that happens, okay, so we take that out. Then if we see any lower time frame confirmations, then now I can be looking for longs, maybe targeting midpoint of Asia, or as long as I get a 3-1, or maybe targeting Asia high. Okay, so this would be a pro internal counter swing type of trade. Yeah, if we go long, all right, going long would be a pro internal counter swing. And then if we are looking for sells, if we look for sells, where could that be? So we do have this level of imbalance. Okay, so price could come up, all right, sweep these highs, all right, mitigate this level of imbalance, and then could start pushing down, targeting this low. All right, and then remember, of course, overall we do have all of this at the bottom as well. Okay, so if that happens, that would be a pro swing counter internal type of trade. Okay, so those will be the things that I'll be looking at. Okay, so might be looking at maybe a sweep of these Asia highs. Sweep of those Asia highs. Okay, and then if we mitigate this imbalance, or just cover this. All right, it could also come in and mitigate this area as well. Okay, so could sweep this, fill the imbalance, mitigate that. All right, and then we'll be looking for shorts. All right, so that is a valid area because we also had a sweep right there. Okay, we had a sweep right there. So anywhere in this area, in this region, would be valid. Okay, would be valid. So simply looking for price to sweep this high, right, or reach into this supply, and then you're simply looking for shorts. Okay, so that's what I have for today. Okay, so those are my trade ideas for both going long and for going short. All right, so remember, you don't have to be right for the whole day. You just need to be right for the session, or just enough to get your 3-1, and you're out, and you make your money, and you're done for the day. Okay, so those are trade ideas. So please, if you are finding value with this material, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment, and let me know how you are using this in your own trading. Other than that, have a good day, and Working Trader out.